ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नित्यानंद नमस्तुभ्यं प्रेमानंद प्रदायिने कलौ कल्मषनाशाय जानवापतये नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरतुसे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। So we welcome everyone for today's discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse number 45. We discussed yesterday. Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna, Nirdvando Nitya Satvisto Niryogakshevam Atmavan. The Vedas deal mainly with the subject of the three modes of material nature. O Arjuna, become transcendental to these three modes, be free from all dualities and from all anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self. In this verse, Lord Krishna explained that Vedic literatures mainly deal with activities, religious activities, which aims at fulfilling one's material desires. But a person who is interested to achieve the ultimate destination of life, so first of all, he must give up those activities which are aimed at providing material benefits. Then one can think about higher destination of life. So we discuss about this verse. Next. So now, because Krishna told, when if you say somebody that you give up something, so this proposal is not very palatable to hear. If you are attached to something and somebody comes and tells you give up this, so that is great shock. Sometimes people they even start shaking. Oh, how can I give it up? So Krishna knew this that it may happen. So in this verse number 46, Krishna is telling that don't worry, you are not going to lose anything after giving something of this material world. You are going to get something more valuable. And even if you desire to get some material benefit, so that also you can get by this means of bhakti yoga, buddhi yoga. So to get some this cheap material benefit, you need not to go through those karma kanda section, performing different kinds of religious activities to satisfy demigods so that they may provide you material benefit. You just do one thing. You give up all those activities and come to me. I will give you everything. So Krishna says this. Keeping this in mind, Krishna is telling this, giving this one example. Yavanarthodapane sarvata samplutodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanata. So all purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. So Krishna gives the example, just like if you need water for different purposes. So in Vedic time, in villages, they used to have different ponds for providing waters for different needs. If you want to wash your clothes, so for that purpose, they used to have different pond. for bathing, different pond. For to get water for worshipping the Lord, separate pond is there. But this is in the case if there is no river in that area flowing. But if in some area the river is flowing, then there is no need for separate ponds, because river is a great reservoir of water. So in the same water, one can take bath, one can wash the clothes, and one can take the water for worshipping the Supreme Lord also, because it's flowing water. So great reservoir of water. So it is not contaminated. Similarly, in order to fulfill each and every material desires, uh, you have to go through so many different activities. You have to perform so many activities, whether material activities by following the Vedic injunction, or if you want to independently perform activities to fulfill our desires, we have to perform so many different activities to fulfill our each and every material desires. And just like if you want to eat gulab jamun, so you have to gather ingredients for making gulab jamun. Then if you get desire to eat golgappa, then you have to gather separate ingredients for that purpose. But if you just come to ISKCON temple, so everything is available, because Krishna is offered Chappan Bhog. You can get golgappa also, samosas, kachauris, gulab jamun, cake, sweet samosa, sweet rice, pastry, sandesh, pedha, everything. Kokam, kokam, where is kokam? हाँ नहीं, वो वाड़ा में कोकम का वो खरीदा था, गायब हो गया. एनीवे, हाँ ठीक है. So you can get everything if you come to Krishna. It is very practical. Just like you came, almost 6-7 days you came. So many different varieties of prasadam you got. In order to arrange all those prasadam, you have to take so much trouble. Gather all the ingredients, then you go to YouTube and learn how to cook. And you may not be able to cook it properly. But but if you come to Krishna, Krishna can provide you everything. 56 chappan, not chappan bhog, unlimited bhog, unlimited varieties of prasadam. Similarly, those who want to fulfill any of their material desires independent of the Supreme Lord, they have to struggle a lot to fulfill each and every material desire. And the end result is, after satisfying those material desires, instead of getting satisfaction, the desire to get it more increases. It increases more and more. And if you are unable to fulfill those desires, then there is frustration. But if you come to Supreme Lord, then by His mercy, your each and every material desires will be satisfied. How? Because if you develop love and devotion for Krishna, then there is no need to have any other desire. Everything will be automatically taken care. Because that's why Krishna is telling in the second line, Tavat Tavan Sarveshu Vedeshu Brahmanasya Vijanata. Similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas, Vedic literature give so many different kinds of activities, religious activities, which people perform in this material world in order to fulfill their desires, different kinds of desires. But a person who knows the purpose behind them, all the purposes of the Vedas are immediately served. Because what is the root cause why people they want to fulfill their material desires? The main reason is they want to satisfy their self, soul. The soul is hankering after pleasure, ras. Rasa, you know rasa? Mellow or rasa. Rasa means by performing any activity, when we get the result, so out of that result, we get some kind of relishment. Release, you release something.
Dopamine.
Huh?
Dopamine.
Dopamine means?
Dopamine. Feeling good hormone. Feeling good hormone.
No. Hormone is just. Okay. Hormones, they are not the cause of those emotions or those rasas. Hormone is actually effect, and cause is something else. But medical people, they think that various kinds of hormones are released, then one feels sometimes love, sometimes hatred, envy, these things. But no, something else is there within the heart. The presence of soul makes it happen, makes it to happen, and then those hormones are triggered, and then because of those hormones, various emotions one gets. So hormones are not the root cause; it's a intermediate cause or immediate cause. And the root cause is what? Root cause is that the spirit soul is conscious being, and being a conscious being, spirit soul has the desire to love or serve somebody, to love and to get loved. That desire is there, and in many means variety, in many varieties, that is known as loving exchanges with the Supreme Lord. So many different varieties of loving exchanges one can have with the Supreme Lord. That is known as rasa or melo. So each and every living entity is hankering after that rasa, but because he is entangled in this material bodily concept of life, considering himself to be this body, so that hankering he tries to fulfill through these material senses. And in order to satisfy each and every senses, he gets unlimited desires, and he tries very hard to satisfy these desires by performing various kinds of activities, whether religious or irreligious, doesn't matter. But he is unable to do it because the root is missing. The main purpose is missing. So the main purpose of Vedic literature is to uh, provide the living entity that actual method of satisfying the hankering of the soul. Because the hankering is there within the soul, which is reflected through this mind, intelligence, and senses. But hankering is there within the soul. Hankering means, huh? Yeah, craving you can say, but hankering for relishing those rasas. Or in other words, simple words, we can say every living entity is hankering to get some enjoyment, happiness, bliss. So this hankering to get bliss, ananda, that is the nature of living entity, not the nature of this body. Body is dull matter. This body is made of dull matter. Eyes, nose, ears, tongue, skin, and mind. So these are all dull matter. It cannot have any hankering. But the hankering is within the soul. So when the soul is present within the body and the soul is illusioned, thinking that I am this body, so he thinks that by satisfying
Body's need.
the senses, by satisfying the senses, I can become happy. I can get the bliss or anand. But that does not take place because the soul's spiritual needs are not taken care. It's just like uh, means a driver is hungry, so simply by giving petrol to the car, the driver cannot be satisfied. You have to feed the driver also. It's just like cage and a bird within the cage. So no matter how much you polish the cage, uh, clean it every day, polish it nicely, golden polish, but the bird within the cage is dying. Still the bird cannot be satisfied. Uh, it's like a fish out of water. The actual need of the fish is to live within the water. Similarly, actual need of the living entity is something else. But in this external environment known as material existence, so it's the similar condition, just like fish out of the water. The living entity, when living in this material existence, tries to satisfy himself and forgetting his real position, he tries to satisfy his material senses. That's why he is unable to satisfy himself. But the same living entity, when he understands by coming in contact with devotees, when he gets the proper understanding that I am not this body, I am a spirit soul, and my actual position is that I am eternal servant of Krishna. So, in the association of the Supreme Lord, I can actually fulfill all my spiritual desires. Then he can become jubilant. and then he can become this indifferent to all material sense gratification. Then sense gratification is not required. Otherwise, till the time one is not connected with the Supreme Lord and gets spiritual rasa, he is forced to enjoy this his material sense. Just like when uh, Srila Prabhupada, a person, a gentleman, so-called gentleman in this material world, she desired that I want to get initiated. Prabhupada said, okay, you want to get initiated, you have to follow these four regulative principles. No meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex. He said, impossible. This is our need. Uh, it's a same a person who is completely in bodily consciousness. These tendencies to enjoy sense gratification becomes his need. But actually, this is not need. There are so many devotees who never break any regulative principles. Are they not living? They are happily living by serving Krishna. All their needs, this desire to get enjoyment, ananda, bliss is fulfilled in true terms. So there is nothing wrong to enjoy. There is nothing wrong to get bliss because that is our constitutional position. We are made of that. The spirit soul, the constitutional position of the spirit soul is Sat Chit Ananda. Sat means it is eternal. That's why nobody wants to die. Is there anyone who desires that I should die? No. Nobody wants to die. Everyone has the desire that I should live always. Why this desire is there? If we are this material body, the material body is perishable, everyone knows. So if material body is perishable, then why we are getting the desire to continue the life forever? Because we are not this material body. We are spirit soul, and spirit soul's constituent is eternal. Sat, one of the one of the constituent is Sat, another is Chit. Chit means knowledge, full of knowledge. That's why everyone is hankering to get to know something. If something happens outside, immediately, what happened? What happened? What did he say? Immediately we ask, we start inquiring all these things. All these social media, Twitter, and all this education system. Why it is there? Because the hankering is there to know something. That's why. Curiosity, inquisitiveness is there. So this is because not because of body. Body is dull matter. Body cannot have this hankering for to know something. This is because the spirit soul is made up of that chit feature. Chit means to know something. And then third one is Ananda. Sat, Cheta, and Ananda. So everyone is hankering after some enjoyment. Why? Because the soul's nature is to get enjoyment. That is the nature. But real enjoyment, the soul can have at a spiritual level because the spirit soul is spiritual. The spirit soul is spiritual. That is the real enjoyment the spirit soul can get. But when he thinks that I'm this body and tries to enjoy those spiritual needs through material means, then there is frustration because it cannot happen. Incompatible situation. Because the need is spiritual, because we are a spirit soul, we are not matter. We are being a spirit soul, our need to have enjoyment, bliss, that is spiritual. So how it can get satisfaction by fulfilling material demands? Very practical. Is there anyone in this entire creation who, after getting unlimited sense enjoyment, is now satisfied and happy and his desires are fulfilled? He is feeling happy. Is there anyone? Yes. Govinda, what do you think? Nobody on this earthly planet, not even in the heavenly planets also. In heavenly planets, demigods, they have thousands, no, millions of far better opportunity than us to enjoy sense gratification. They can unlimitedly enjoy. They have such a nice branded liquor. If they drink, the body did not doesn't get disease. Somaras. No. There is one yagya. If you perform that yagya, you can get that somaras. Just like you have to pay some amount to get branded liquor. No? 500 rupees, 10,000 rupees, 30,000 rupees.
1 lakh 2.5.
1 lakh.
1 lakh 25,000.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So similarly, if you want to get that most branded liquor of this material existence, known as Somarasa, you have to perform yagya. There is one yagya.
It's a trade.
Yeah. Similarly, if you want to get the most beautiful girls to enjoy, so there is another yagya. You can perform that yagya.
So I can perform the yagya on this planet.
Earthly planet.
On this planet.
Not in this planet, because the most beautiful girls are not available on this earthly planet. The most the Miss Universe is this is wrong title. Miss World, you can say. So Miss World beauty is like means she appears like a cockroach in front of the most ugliest woman in heavenly planet. So that's why those who were knowing all these things, so they were so much attracted towards performing this yagya, so that they can perform this yagya and then go to heavenly planet and enjoy unlimitedly with so many beautiful apsaras, with wine, somras, and not for just 80, 70, 80 years, for millions of years. But they get the opportunity.
Before going to the heavenly planet, you have to die on this planet.
Huh?
Before going to the heavenly planets, first you have to die on
you
this
have to
planet.
leave this body. You have to leave this body. But there is a kind of yagya. You can also go to heavenly planet with this body also.
Eh?
Yes, but it requires some qualification. Not everybody can perform that. But in this age of Kali, nobody can perform. That's not possible.
Okay.
Trisanku proposed this. Trisanku, he was a king when Vasishtha Muni was there.
But can I learn?
So
no one can perform it.
no, you cannot get it.
There is no like tutorial or
Okay,
anything.
I'll tell you after the class. So the main anyway, important point is in this verse, Krishna is telling that those who know the purposes of the Vedas, similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. The purpose behind Vedic literature is that to enable the spirit soul to enjoy unlimited bliss at a spiritual level. And that's why those who are intelligent, they give up all those flowery or all those, what you say, temptations given in the Vedic literature to have enjoyment materially, because they understand that this is all temporary. Any kind of material enjoyment is temporary by nature, and it does not have the quality to satisfy the thirst or hankering of the soul, because soul's hankering or need is spiritual, which is of superior quality. So material enjoyment, which is of inferior quality and having limited quantity, quality inferior, quantity limited. It cannot satisfy the soul's desires to have enjoyment, which needs spiritual quality enjoyment in unlimited way. So this Brahma, that is called Brahma Sukha, Brahma Sukha. Brahma Saukhyam to Anantam. That's why Rishabdev Maharaj, when he was retiring from his position as a king of the earthly planet, so he instructed his 100 sons. He said that Tapo divyam putraka jena suddheta sattvam yashmad brahma saukhyam tvanantam. Oh, my dear children, sons, my dear sons, do not engage your senses in gratifying material sense enjoyment, because then you will become bereft of getting the actual enjoyment. Just like if you are hungry, so if you eat chapati, sabji, rice, dal, then your stomach is full. Then if I offer you very nice palak paneer, puri, and all those, everything made in pure desi ghee, so your stomach is already filled, how you will be able to enjoy? Similarly, those who are engrossed in enjoying material sense gratification, they cannot comprehend the level of spiritual sense gratification. The spiritual sense gratification is available for those people who are freed from or purified from the tendencies of material sense gratification. Then only you can access to spiritual sense gratification. So sense gratification is not denied. Ultimate purpose of life is to have sense gratification, but real sense gratification, our sense gratification, not this body's sense gratification. This body is like this what you say, coat and shirt. Body is like cloth, a dress which we wear. So if you are feeling hungry and thirsty, if you put water on your collar, sabji, rice, dal, sabji, chapati, everything, so you will not get satisfaction. You will have to eat, then you can get satisfaction. Similarly, this dress is outward covering of the soul. So if you want to satisfy the soul, give enjoyment to the soul, and that means your own self, then you cannot get it by giving to the dress. The material enjoyment which we give through eyes, nose, ears, tongue, everything, skin, and even through mind also. What is the sense gratification of mind? Mind sense gratification is to have some feelings towards somebody, emotional, to have attachment for somebody. Wow. As soon as I remember him or her, I feel so much love. This feeling, this is all nonsense. Because this is also like satisfying the body. No. If you just raise yourself a little bit on a spiritual platform, you will understand this is all foolishness and nonsense. I'm not saying this. Lord Krishna says this. Nateshu ramate buddha. Buddha means intelligent person, does not indulge in, he doesn't indulges in all these thing nonsense thing. ये ही संस परस जा भोगा दुख योन एवते दुख योन एवते. It becomes a source of miseries. Any sense enjoyment you take, it eventually gives miseries. The gross senses, if you try to enjoy, it will give some miserable situation. And above this mental, at the level of mind, if you try to enjoy, have anything emotional attachment for somebody, you will get more miseries because of this. And at the level of intelligence, more misery. At the level of ego, the greatest misery. So this enjoyment, material enjoyment, it starts from gross level, then subtle level at mind, intelligence, and ego. So all this put together, I'll take the question. All this put together is considered this material happiness, material sense enjoyment, which has nothing to do with the spirit soul. The spirit soul cannot even get even bit of the enjoyment of this material thing, body, mind, intelligence, and ego. That's why those who are intelligent, they work to purify the spirit soul in order to get a spiritual enjoyment to the soul. And that's why Rishabh told his son that Tapo Divyam, you perform Divya transcendental austerities by which Suddhed Sattvam, your existence will be purified, and then you can experience Brahma Saukhyam Tvanantam. Because till the time one's heart is not purified of desires for material sense enjoyment, he cannot realize himself to be spirit soul, and he cannot have the access to spiritual sense enjoyment. The Brahma Saukhyam, the spiritual place, that is Anantam. That is Anantam. So in this verse, Krishna explains this. So in order to access to that highest kind of happiness, spiritual happiness, one has to give up lower kind of happiness. Just like a student who desires to get admission into good college or clear very nice government examination so that he can get good job and enjoy better facilities. So he has to avoid those temporary material activities, sports and video games, and roaming around with friends. He has to give up all these things and focus on his studies so that he can get the higher level of facilities. Similarly, so those who can perform this austerity of controlling their mind and senses completely, and can avoid these tendencies for sense enjoyment, they become eligible to access the real bliss by performing spiritual activity. But those who remain engaged in performing sinful activities, or not just sinful activities, sense enjoyment, sense gratification activities, even if they perform spiritual activities, the access is denied. They cannot access because the covering is there. The soul, the spiritual activities is being performed through material bodily senses, but those material bodily senses are engrossed in the fulfilling the demands of sense gratification, so that the spiritual performance of those spiritual activities, it cannot penetrate into the heart to reach to the soul. That's why they cannot experience real spiritual bliss even after performing spiritual activities, if they cannot give up the this desires for sense gratification. Okay. So we'll discuss more about this words tomorrow. Thank you very much. We have only 2 minutes. If you have any question, you can ask. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare. Yes, Soumya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Is there any difference between spirit and soul?
Spirit, soul means soul is an entity and spirit is its nature, quality, spiritual nature. The soul is living entity and spirit or spiritual is its nature, superior nature. Clear?
जी प्रभुजी.
Any other question? Hare Krishna.